I suggested to the women that they line up right on the start line and take off fast so they have a chance to get onto the juniors' wheels when these guys take off fast. Anna did just that, in spite of the fact that there were no juniors in the race. At the last moment, all the juniors elected to bypass this race and wait for the next race. Many of them had raced in Santa Barbara road race the day before. Since the others didn't jump, Anna was now on a solo breakaway. Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. This is the fourth and final week of the women's practice races that accompany the Skills Clinic that was happening in Clovis, California each Sunday. Because of the very early threat of rain in the morning, only 4 women showed up. But these 4 women were 4 strong women. Kat was the first to jump after Anna, who now has a sizable lead. But she knew that this was going to be a big gap for her to do by herself, so she actually waited for Iris. There's one more woman coming up, but she hasn't gotten here yet. Angie makes contact by the time we get to turn 3. Kat's been on the front all this time. Ordinarily you want to start working with the others, but this is the first lap and this gives her a chance maybe to open up her legs. Now she did race yesterday, and that included 6 hours of driving to and from the course, but she's probably feeling good, so no big deal. Iris closes down the rest of the gap and makes contact by the end of the first lap. That was a good breakaway by Anna. Now, it could have been different. It could have been a solo rider getting up to Anna, then the two of them would be working together to stay away from the other two. You just don't know. Sometimes you roll the dice and then adapt to whatever happens after that. Last week, Anna was wasting a lot of energy whenever she would pull off of a chase. Then she wouldn't power up until everybody went by, and then she'd have to close like 1, 2, or even 3 bike lengths, and that eventually wore on her. This time, she kept her speed up when the pack came by, and then just slipped into the back and into the slipstream. Jumping to just a little after lap 3 does another sign these women are becoming tactically astute. We have an attack. Angie saw things were slowing down, so she attacked right out of the corner, which is a great place to attack. And she was close to the pack. She was 3rd or 4th wheel. Kat, being on Angie's wheel, was the first to react. But it looked like she had trouble closing the gap all the way. That's probably due to a combination of Angie's strong attack and Kat's traveling and racing the previous day. Between turns 3 and 4, they have established a nice gap, but they are both absolutely tired and are slowing down a bit. This gives Iris, who's an absolute diesel, a chance to reconnect. Anna, who was at the front when the attack started, is now off the back, and she will reconnect when they come around again. This is a 10-lap race. A couple laps of pace lining later, Anna reintegrates into the pack. We are now on the back side of lap 6 of 10. Kat has just pulled off with the intent of going, of course, to the back of the line and reintegrating into the pace line. However, she notices a bit of weakness with Anna having a little trouble closing the gap, and her main competition, Angie, is right behind her, so she fills in. Kat views this as an opportunity. Iris pulls off before the corner. Kat knows that because of this, Iris will have to travel a greater distance around that corner. She also sees that Anna is letting a gap open to her. This is the opportunity that Kat has been looking for. Once around the corner, she still portrays business as usual, then she punches it. Angie quickly figures that Anne is getting tired, and that Iris, who has just pulled off, is still in the wind wasting energy, so she better get up to Kat's wheel, and quick. When Angie finally makes connection, she sees that Kat is tired, so she counterattacks by holding her pace and continuing to roll through. It's now 3 laps to go, and Angie's on a solo breakaway. But that was a lot of energy used, so she's got to slow down a little bit, and that gives everyone else a chance to reconnect. At this point in these closing laps, everyone is starting to take stock of themselves. Anna's thinking that with this strong group, that first lap breakaway of hers is starting to cost a bit. Iris is thinking that while she doesn't have any punch, given enough time, she can chase down anybody. Kat is feeling the entire weekend, and Angie is thinking she has one good move left. Everyone is going to keep an eye on everyone else while conserving and formulating their final plans. Last lap, coming out of the back straight, Kat surges out of the corner. Angie jumps to her wheel. Iris, who couldn't match acceleration, immediately goes into diesel mode in an effort to catch them. Having completed her effort, Angie takes the win, and Iris comes in second. From a mentor's point of view, it has been an amazing month. These women have learned quite a bit in terms of safety and tactics. The racing that they did today is a far cry from what they did at week 1. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have an opportunity to give back to the sport by helping out at a skills clinic, I encourage you to do so. Remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.